Hey, hello everyone. Happy to have you today for our demo day. It's great to have you for this Friday. The idea is very simple, and I know that you are used to it now, is to let our BGA members to be able to showcase the game, the services. And the fun part of it is at the end of each presentation, you will be able to um, have some and have the opportunity to win some rewards, some NFTs, specifically dedicated to the games or to the services that our wonderful speakers will be able to introduce to you. And yeah, it's going to be fun. You just have to answer the question and each questions in the chat. So without any further ado, I will let the first person to introduce the project. And yes, Kwame, if you're ready, the stage is yours.
All right, thank you. My name is Kwame. I'm a developer and do developer relations and manage the SDK and the community at ChainSafe. And today I'm going to just showcase the gaming SDK that our team works on. So let me just share my screen. And okay. So just a quick synopsis, TNC Gaming SDK allows for integration into the Unity game engine. It basically has support for any EVM compatible chain. Currently, we have builds for desktop, mobile, and WebGL. If you guys were here last week, you would have seen the Chronos Play gaming SDK and the ChainSafe Gaming SDK powers that. Um, we have prefabs for all the common interactions. So like any common interaction with an ERC20, ERC 721, 1155, we have prefabs that you can just basically drag and drop in. You can, of course, easily integrate your own ABI. And the gaming SDK is open source. So we are like totally excited to have our community members help out and give contributions and add to this wider ecosystem. And we have a really awesome community of blockchain game developers. So of course, come visit us on Discord. So we'll just get right into the demo. So the first thing you're going to need to do here is, of course, go to our documentation, and it's at docs.gaming, chainsafe.io, and I'll add those links too. And what you'll do is just go to our releases page and just basically download the Web3 package. And once that is downloaded, you'll just need to import the package. For this particular example, you will see an error, and that is because if you don't have Newtonsoft, you need to install it. So I wanted to show it from an example where if you don't have that, what you need to do. So we'll just let that go, and you'll see that there's this like Newtonsoft error here. So just go into your package manager. And what you'll need to do is, I'll just go to my assets. And you'll see here the JSON.NET for Unity. And this is in our documentation also, but I figure it's just a good example just to show you that if you see that error. So we'll let that install. Okay. And once you have that, you'll see that the error is gone. So inside of, now that you have the package installed, you'll see that we have the web3.unity package. It comes with our documentation, and then you see all these prefabs for ERC 20s. You have the balance of, so I mean, if I just like dragged and dropped that in and clicked on play, you'll see that there's a balance here. And I can just open up the script also, kind of moving a bit fast, but hopefully you kind of get the get a synopsis of how this works. So here's just the simple script, and all you're doing is just supplying your chain, network, the contract address, and the account that you want to get a balance from. And that's all you need to do. And I'll just exit that for now. For a larger demo, I'm going to just kind of move this over here and just show you all how. I'm trying to move this out of the way. What could go wrong with a demo? All right.
You said it.
Okay, so I'm just going to move this out of the way. All right. So how do we get like an actual build set up? Now, doing WebGL builds, it can take some time. So I'm going to just use a example here of doing a build, but for our Web3 wallet. So to set this up, we'll go into our build and settings. And I'm just going to move this over. And in our packages, we have our scenes. Where we go? Our scenes here. Oops, sorry. And you'll see that we have a wallet login and a web login. Now the wallet login is for like desktop and mobile, and it kind of like hooks into your wallet extension. So this is always going to be the first scene. And then I'm just going to take the sample scene here as my second scene. And I'll go into the player settings here. And I'll just basically turn this into windows just so it doesn't take up my whole screen. So now that we have that, let's access one of these prefabs. So I'm going to go into the wallet, and you're going to see that we have a transfer 20 here. And I'll just drag and drop that prefab in. And just kind of just, whoa. And it comes with a pre-configured button already for you. And if we, I'll just remove this. And if we go into the actual script for this, okay, you'll see here that it has the chain. Well, this is just Rinkeby. It has the actual ABI, and this is just for our standard ERC20. And then it has the contract address, a value, the method that we're going to call from the ABI, which is the transfer, and then the account who we send it to. And then this would just be like 1 unit token right here. So in this example, what we could do here is just go back into our go back into here. We'll go into the contract wizard. We could just say BGA, and we can just do BGA 1 or something like that. Set up some values for the amount of tokens, make it mintable. And this is just Open Zeppelin, just for a really quick contract. Copy that, go into Remix, create a new contract. I'll just call this BGA.sol. I'll paste in this contract. I will compile it out and make sure that I'm on Rinkeby. I should be. All right. And then we can just deploy this out. Select the contract. Oops, got to inject Web3. Sorry about that. And then we'll deploy that. Okay. Let that confirm. Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to copy this contract. And then I'm going to go in here and just apply this contract that we just did. And I should also, well, I should probably don't have to do that. Okay. So what do we have now is that when we select this transfer 20, it will actually transfer that token that we just created. So I'm going to go to build and run. I will create a new folder. I'll just call this BGA and select that folder. And then we'll build and run. And I'm choosing a windowed environment just because it's quicker. WebGL builds are synonymous for taking forever. Okay, so I'm just going to bring this over. You'll see that we have that sample scene. So now it will bring up our wallet extension so that we can sign this. We will copy the signature. And now that we're back in the game, we're basically signed in with that account. And then we can just transfer that token. Okay, and you'll see here, that's the token that we have just created. And then I can confirm that. I'll copy the transaction. And then we can, I'll go to testnet, Rinkaby, oops. Just paste that transaction in here. So you can see here that we have the transaction basically going through. We've transferred the token, and there the confirmation should be coming up. A little bit longer on Rinkaby, but kind of let that do its thing. And yeah, I mean, that's
and
much.
in terms of it's so insightful and interesting, and thank you for that. In terms of documentations, what could be the best way, for developers to have a view of what's happening? So this is the main link to go through.
Yeah, so the main link to go to is our docs.gaming.chainsafe.io, and that has all our documentation. We have our how-tos, like how to integrate an ABI into the ChainSafe Gaming SDK, sending Ethereum transactions. We have our full installation tutorials to get you started. Interacting with the EVM, making balance of, verify, no transaction status, all the things that you're going to need to do. We also have an FAQ section for the most common pitfalls and errors that you will or things that you'll see and kind of struggle with if you're new to the SDK. And yeah, I mean, that was pretty much it. That's my presentation.
Can you send me the link on the private chat so I can share it with everyone who's watching?
Yeah, definitely.
Good idea. Yeah,
I'll definitely do that. So I will stop sharing. And yeah, in the beginning of this presentation, I mentioned that we support EVMs, but how many do we support? Answer that question, and we will send you guys out a prize. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Awesome, thank you. So while you send me the link to the documentation, I'm sharing on screen the question. So as Kwame said, to anyone who's watching, try to get the answer correctly. Paste it on the comments, share it on the comments, and then we can choose who the winner is. And in the meantime, I'm seeing, Kwame, a question for you while we wait for them to get the reply. It says, does this work on Android or iOS builds?
Yes, it does. So that the example that I used, you can actually use that not just for desktop as I did, but you could actually select a mobile build instead, and it would have worked the same way.
Okay, awesome. Well, I already shared the link. So to anyone who was wondering where to check more information about your project, Kwame, so they can go straight to this link and find everything they might need to get more acquainted with it. I'm seeing a couple of answers. So what do you think? Shall we choose the winner now? Wait a couple more minutes to see if someone else has the right answer? What do you think?
I can actually see them. I'm not on. I'm just
Yeah,
in here, not on YouTube.
No, but you can go to the comment section here in
Oh,
StreamYard.
geez, there we
To
go.
your right. Yep, you can see there the question, everything that's been going on in the conversation. So there are already 3 replies, and they're different from each other. So it's up to you to choose the winner.
Well, you know what? I'm going to choose the highest one because any EVM compatible blockchain basically is supported by our SDK.
Okay, so I'm guessing this will be the right answer, well, the closest answer.
That would be the closest answer, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, congratulations. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna send you here in the comment section a link to a form. So please make sure to fill out the form to claim your prize. And Kwame, what's the prize?
We'll be sending out just some swag from the company.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, that's great. So I'm going to share the link to the form. Make sure to fill out the required information so we can know it's you. And yeah, and wait for the prize. Wait for us to communicate with you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much for the presentation. Was so interesting. And yeah, the next one will be Sam. Sam, if you're ready for Capital Dow, stage is yours.
All right. Yeah, Kwame, thanks for showing that. We may actually be in contact with you later. That looks like something our gang could use. But yeah, guys, hey, great to meet everyone. Let me try to share here. So we are part of the Capital Dow. All right. Can everybody see that okay? Let's see.
Good, you're good.
All right, very neat. Okay, I'll introduce this real briefly, guys, and then we're gonna get right into a demo. Our product is already live. So what we do, we sit at what we call the nexus of gaming. What that means is basically that we can touch a number of different components that you're gonna find really interesting around both games and guilds. Before we get started, a very quick disclaimer, everything that you see within the quick presentation that I'm gonna show here is not financial advice and it's not a solicitation for any type of purchase. Feel free to contact me after if you'd like more information here. Okay, so everyone I think on this call broadly agrees. Gaming and the metaverse in general, hugely important. Goldman, Citi both came out with their $13 trillion bids. Really, really punchy numbers. The thing that's important to the people on this call and to us is that we see Web3 gaming as this engine of the economic metaverse, and we see guilds as really a powerhouse within that engine. And they're really going to be part of the utility that drives forward the whole space and kind of helps elevate all of us up to the level where institutional capital is really moving in quickly. We've got some numbers here listed on the side just for brief reference, but the thing that I want you guys to keep in mind is just that guilds are really, you know, the meat of the situation that we're targeting here. So guilds collect these really lucrative APRs. We're all familiar with these. Illuvium's punchy numbers, Axie's high yields on certain days when Scholar numbers are good. And then Star Atlas's, you know, minigame gameplay yields. And so it's easy for guilds to kind of organize around these and collect all these APRs. But the issue is that it's really operationally intensive. It's like crazy operationally intensive. And we end up estimating that guilds lose something like 15 to 20% of their revenue to operations themselves. And what does that kind of look like as an example? I'm not going to go through all these because it would take too much time. But I think for anyone here who's familiar with guild processing and how these games work, you have a ton of manual transactions, just back to back to back to back. And running each one of these, waiting for a chain to resolve, even if it's a fast chain like Solana, Polygon, transactions dropping, et cetera, it's a mess. Net, you end up losing something that looks like almost 20% of a guild's revenue, to this type of operational loss in the first place. And that is exactly the type of friction and scalability issue that we have solved here with the Capital Dow Protocol. So getting into it, what even is this? What are we chatting about? So the Capital Dow is two things. So first of all, it is this guild management protocol. This is a live product that we already have guilds using today. And this encompasses everything from tools, analytics, delegated permissions to allow managers to move assets within whitelisted gardens, and then one-click DAO tokenization setups for guilds. And then on the other side of that, we have our gaming guild. And so we basically leverage exactly that same technology to accelerate the growth of our own guild at scale. And then taking those two together, that forms the Capital DAO. Later on, we may discuss a little bit more around exactly how these things are monetized, et cetera, and what drives value to the token itself. But net, you should recall that the guild management protocol takes minor fees on these transactions, as well as token allocations from the one-click DAO deployment setup. And then the guild itself accrues value from these in-game yields and operations, as well as our very close connections within the VC space for these early blue chip AAA game investments and deployments. So getting into it, what does this management protocol even do? So it solves a couple of big things. First off, automation. This is something that a lot of people are familiar in the space. Automated payouts within Axie have already been done. Lots of people do that. So where's the difference here? The difference is in our self-custody solution. This is a proprietary technology that we've spun up that basically allows you to do what's called delegated permission work. So you can imagine that you have a series of thousands of assets, thousands and thousands of game assets, and you drag and drop them into a vault, and then you delegate permissions out to your community. That means that instead of you sitting there and having to, process things like transactions or transfers or breeds or payouts, whatever, all of it, you can delegate that directly back to your community members. You can give them the power to actually organize and rearrange and move things around. And it's a hugely powerful and Web3 forward strategy that our scholars and managers, some of which I think are probably here today, have really enjoyed quite a bit. In addition to that, we're completely game agnostic. The way that we've set up this backend custodial solution means we can hit any chain in any game, which is very powerful. And we also offer these one-click DAO setups to enable guilds to tokenize on the fly and immediately redeploy our doubly audited smart contracts. What does it look like? So our protocol is live, like I mentioned. And in a nutshell, what I want you guys to take away is that any admin or investor type or guild person can basically seamlessly drag and drop their assets into our vault and then delegate community members at large to basically control all of those assets only within the game, completely trustlessly. The community members do not have any keys. They cannot run away with any assets. And so it basically enables community members and players to do what they do best, which is to play games. And it enables admins to do what they do best, which is frankly deploying capital into the ecosystem. And so in general, you could expect guild margins to improve something like 15 to 20%. And compared to, our very marginal cost of just 1% on transactions, that's a very substantial improvement. So like I mentioned, we take exactly that same technology and leverage it in our own gaming guild. So we have a massive community, over 50K members, over 1,000 scholars, and our really key focus is on these blue chip games. So we're targeting AAA games with robust economies that have been really audited. And so we want to target exactly the games that are going to win out in 2023 plus. And so you should see us as the deployment solution where both a tech and a guild at the same time in that 2023 plus, time horizon. The guild's grown substantially. We take 50% cuts versus some of the other peers in the space, which take, between 30 and 50%. And because we can save so hard on operations, it really helps us drive a better operating margin, which ultimately goes back to the guild treasury itself. And that kind of ties into the final slide I'm going to show you guys here today, in addition to one or two on team, is just that all of that I just described taken together, all of that pooled together forms the Capital DAO. And we have taken a community and blockchain forward approach wherein when we deploy the token, which is going to happen sometime in the next 1 to 3 months, it will be completely on-chain governance with complete on-chain rights, which means that we are not doing a roadmap where we promise decentralization in 4 years. If we do not do anything besides deploy this token, in 2 years from today, from the day it's deployed, it will be decentralized. So the community will have majority control over the protocol, and all revenue will be driven exactly to that treasury controlled. Real brief on the team that we got over here. We just have a wonderful bunch of folks. I am wildly proud of all of them, and they work super hard day and night to make sure this thing keeps working. And a huge shout out, honestly, to our community leaders, because they were the guys who inspired us to start this and build it. And they're the guys that keep the ship running today. So a big shout out to all you guys that are here. We've been featured in Bloomberg multiple times, which is kind of crazy. They seem to like what we're doing over here. And so we're kind of happy to, bring this type of gaming into the mainstream. We're gonna have a whitelist giveaway at the end. I've left a link here. I'll also send you guys the link so you can post it. But what's entitled in this whitelist is access to the guild management protocol itself, a spot there, or if you're not an admin, it's a scholarship spot. So you can sign up whether you want to use it or you're just an admin, and you're good to go on this whitelist. We're also giving away a whole bunch of SLP if that's something you're also interested in. Okay, with that, I'm going to jump into the demo real quick. It shouldn't take us too long.
Yeah, sorry,
please.
Sorry to interrupt you. Can you send me the link as well in the private chat so I can share it on the comment section?
Absolutely.
Thank
here
you.
we go. Yeah, awesome. No worries. Yeah, guys, feel free to do the giveaway. We've got a whole bunch of cash in there. I think a bunch of people are earning SLP, and then whitelist to either the guild management tool itself or a scholarship if you're just a scholar. Okay, let me tackle the. Let's see, you can see this okay? All right, this is the app as it stands today. This is live. So as Kwame mentioned, hopefully nothing goes wrong here in a live demo, but here we go. So we're gonna go into our app, and I want you guys to notice this whole time that you're gonna see us operating this app, not a single MetaMask transaction is going to pop up this entire time, okay? So we're in here, our landing page. Let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. This is one of our guild accounts. This is one of a couple. And in here, you're gonna be able to see all of your scholars spread across all of your accounts, and then their performance. And you can dive into each one of these guys. You can see exactly how they've been doing. So for example, here, let's go check out how Ames is doing here. We've got a really neat experience system coming here soon on the left. So Ames here, perfectly random scholar. I have no idea how Ames is doing. And Ames, apologies if you're in the chat and we're going to embarrass you here for a sec. But Ames didn't play on the April 25th and 26th, but he's been meeting his quota here for basically the rest of the time. This quota number is really important. It's this dashed line. And what the quota represents is that's the amount that the community managers expect the scholars to hit each day. As long as the scholars hit that number each day for 7 days in a row, say, they can actually claim their cash before they could ordinarily with the 2-week Axie claim system. And the reason that works is because we run all of it through a complicated set of proprietary treasury functions that enables us to pay out scholars quicker than they would be able to be paid out otherwise. We can dive in a little bit deeper, make sure that he's got the right Axies. We can view his login, his password, revoke his access entirely if we're disappointed with his performance, and we can move his assets between different accounts here live. I'm not going to run this right now because I don't actually have an asset on hand, and I don't want to mess up whatever he has because I'm sure he's very happy with it. So that's what you can see there. But what does it look like, for an admin? Because that's who's really, who would be using this tool. So over here in our admin panel, we've got a couple really crucial functions. You can take any user. Let's take Butters here. Butters is a manager right now. Apologize if you're in the chat, Butters. We're going to change you to a player. So he's just been demoted from a manager to a player, which has revoked his permissions. But if I were to change him back into a manager, what you can do is then assign Butters to a game. So let's assign him to Axie, and let's say that he's going to manage the EV group. And so now, when Butters logs in, he's going to find that he's able to manage everyone who is inside the EV group. We're going to change EV group's quota. We're going to say, a quota 35. That sounds good for EV group. And when those scholars meet that quota over a period of time, they'll be able to claim easily. And what that looks like is they'll just go back to the homepage. It'll show up right here. They'll be able to claim their reward. Ooh, I need to get a Ronin address here really quick. And then this will process out the claim immediately on chain. And so this is an example of an on-chain transaction that you'll see using our custodial engine. There is no MetaMask pop-up, no Ronin pop-up. We can make sure that this here is valid. And it worked. So we can confirm that the on-chain data says that they did in fact transfer to SLP. So scholars can get paid out, managers can manage their scholars, move all assets, admins can rearrange managers and nominate community managers. And net, at the end of the day, we end up saving a ton on operational efficiency and enabling the community to be closer to their scholars. And so it's something that, we have found extremely powerful for our managers themselves. And frankly, we've seen a lot of interest from a lot of the guilds in the space that are coming around and trying to scale up into the thousands or hundreds of thousands. So with that, guys, I'm going to pause. I'm going to pop back over here to our presentation so we can leave that link up there. But that's been the Capital Dow, guys. We are wildly stoked to be bringing this product out. It will be chain first, full on-chain governance, etc. And we're going to be deploying into a public token here in the next 1 to 3 months is what I would say. We're all ready for that.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Sam, for the presentation. Actually, I got excited. We had a very interesting panel, I think 2 weeks ago with YGG, with all the guilds in the BGA, and we talk about that and the guild ecosystem. And we talk about the fact that you have a lot of different guilds, small, with 1,000 of digital game assets, mid-size and big guilds. Would you say that Capital Dow is aiming to help any kind of guilds, not depending on the size they have?
Yeah, so that's the neat thing about the tech is it's perfectly scalable. We have people using this who have 3 teams. We have people using this who have thousands of teams. It is completely independent. All it takes is spinning up a different instance and you're good to go.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you very much. So I know that at each end of each presentations, we have a question. Do you remember your question, or you need us to?
No, I think I got it here. I pulled it up during the other chat. I believe the question, guys, is so what drives value to the Capital Dow token?
Awesome.
Okay, so great. I'm sharing that question on screen as well. So same as the last time, try to guess the right answer on the comment section. In the meantime, also, it's a good time for you to make questions to Sam, if you have any. I'm not seeing any at the moment, but if you still have something to ask him, make sure to send the questions in the comment section as well, and we'll address them correctly. So yeah, Sam, do you have like any hint in case that anyone's wondering what the right answer is?
Sure. Okay, so the hint is that remember the Capital Dow is composed of 2 components. There is a tech solution management, and then there is a guild itself. Playing the game and lower operational costs, I see that coming in. That's not bad. Those would be savings to people who use it, but it is not how the Capital token expressly accrues it. The token is not inflationary. That's true. The mint function has been revoked. There will only ever be 1 billion tokens. That is correct. But we're still waiting for the right answer. No, we're still waiting for the right answer. It was a correct comment, but not the right answer yet.
They're very close still.
They are close.
So yeah, maybe we just go to the next speakers, and in the meantime, maybe after the presentation, we'll be able to have the good answers. What do you think, Luis?
Yeah, absolutely. So what I'm gonna do is paste the question also in the comment section, so you guys can have it with you and try to guess the right answer, and then we'll go back to this question once we are finished with the other presentations.
Someone got it. Marion, congratulations. Marion says Capital Guild service transactions and guild operations. That's pretty close. Yeah, that's pretty close. In addition to that, we also take tokenization cuts on certain DAO deployment solutions, as well as these AAA NFT seed deployments. But yeah, that's it.
Okay, awesome. Well, very last minute. So congratulations, Marion. Same as the last time, I'm going to send you a link to a form. So make sure to fill it out using your username so we can know it's you. And then we will let you know what the price is. No, actually, Sam, what's the price? We can tell her.
Yeah, I think that the prize is going to be some quantity of SLP plus maybe some in-game assets. So it's something that we'll spin up out of the guild here in a second.
All right. Okay, great then. So yeah, fill out this form and then we'll get back to you so you can claim your prize. And congratulations again.
Yeah, congrats. Thank you very much. So yeah, the next speaker will be Sev. If you're ready, Sev, to show us OpenTelos.
Yes. So OpenTelos is the company developing. It's actually Mental DAO. So we're setting up a DAO as a development studio to set up more, to build more games. And the first game that we are developing and that is now in alpha, which I'm really excited to share right now, is called Battle for the Metaverse. So the idea behind Battle for the Metaverse is that we like the idea of being approachable to the general public and also to the general gaming public. And if you look at the space, it is super exciting. It's interesting how all these value mechanisms work and play to earn. And this is also something that we will have. But we also want to be approachable. So in a sense, if you start the game, you will be able to play Battle for the Metaverse, even if you don't have a wallet installed, right? So you can play the base game. And then if you log in with a wallet, if you have NFTs that are supported, and I will get to that, how we do this in a second, then you unlock additional content. So I would compare this to how freemium games work with a very low barrier of entry, and then you can go through some friction to get more content or a little bit of advantage in the game. And so the one thing that I'm really excited about is that we allow third-party NFTs to become meaningful and get additional utility within our game. And we call this a cross-community experience. So what you see right now is that we have a deck of 3 champions on the right, and these are the default champions that everybody can use. And on the left hand, you see I connected my wallet and you see 2 of my PFPs, right? And one of them is my trusted Woody that I have on my Twitter profile that you see everywhere and that I really like. And so the first thing I'm gonna do is before I start a game, I'm gonna pull this Woody over and put him in my deck. And then I change these units. And so you see it has an ability that it gives a unit +1/+1. So let's start the game. And the game is a very simple auto battling game, heavily inspired by auto chess games and something like Super Auto Pets, which is, I think, killing it in the space. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to build a team, and then we're going to battle against other teams that have been built before. And so I hover over those units to see what they do. One thing I can do is I can roll to re-roll and get more units. And so let's see. I'm going to use this robot. This robot is taunting, so it gets aggro from another unit, so he will be attacked first. I think, yeah, it's not optimal, but it's the first round, so let's go. Let's give it a moment. By the way, this is alpha, so this is very, very fresh, so we can expect there to be a few bugs. But yeah, it's more about showing the core gameplay, and then, yeah, we'll give it a second.
Maybe.
All right, so there we go.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. So yeah. So you see, it's very simple. So the units attack each other, and then the abilities get executed. And here we end up in a draw. And so okay, so that's the first round. And so we're going to continue with this. I'm going to sell this unit by pulling this here. Yeah, and one thing you can do is you can combine these units with each other. So if I combine this, you see that this unit gets a little bit stronger. And if I combine 3 units with each other, here on top you see my gold, by the way. So I'm rolling now because I want more of those, of one more lunchbox spot. So I have it here, but I don't have enough gold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to freeze him now to keep him for the next round. And I'm going to not keep those because I don't think they make sense in the team. So I'm just going to keep on rolling. And yeah, I think that's fine. So let's go to the next match. And yeah, I can also press autoplay, so I don't have to press play anytime. And we see how the game performs. And okay, so another draw. The goal, by the way, is to get 12 wins before my life run out. And so yeah. I'm combining this now, and you see now it's leveled up. And before he gave +1/+1 if he's fainting, so if he dies to the unit behind. and now he's giving +2/+2. And most of the game is very positional, so that makes a lot of difference. And so what you will discover in the game is that the higher the round counter is that you get more units unlocked. So you get stronger and stronger units during the game, which I think makes it quite interesting. So let's just push through and see if we can win here. Right now, I don't know yet where I want to migrate my team towards. There's different kind of tactics available, and there's a meta that is going to be like a meta game around what other players are playing, right? So the better players optimize the game, the better we learn how to play this game, the more challenging it will get automatically. So the Brave Spectre is actually a pretty good unit here, because whenever he gets a buff from another unit targeted by a friendly ability, then he gets +1/+1 on top of this as a temporary buff. So as the Inspiring Knights gives the unit gives damage, gives a buff to him, and when he knocks out, when he kills another unit, that's quite a good combo. So I think we are now starting to form an idea of a team that we want to form, and so we're just gonna level those up. And okay, so let's go. All right, so that looks like a more challenging fight, but yeah, I think we got this on the back. That's easy. So we see how this accrues value quickly, and then we get our first win. And so let's see if we can in the 10 minutes. Just let me know when we're at 8 or when we're at the end. And I'm just gonna try to rush through this. Maybe we get to the late game of a round. And by the way, the game is contained, so winning a whole round, you get a little bit of bonus, and then later on the meta game outside of the game is that this will be that you can play these games in a ranked game fashion, and then the higher you rank, you get at the end of a season, you get rewards in the form of NFTs and tokens. And so that's the motivation why you would want to, we would call this compete to earn, which I think is a fair assessment. So we now get the first unit that can give us permanent buffs, and so let's just keep going through. That's an easy fight. And right now, because we are on a development branch and we don't have many players, I mean, mainly it's our team internally testing this right now, means also that the enemies that we are fighting and the fights are kind of trivial. This changes the more player play the game, and we're leveled up already here completely. And yeah, so can use this. This unit gives a buff to a unit 2 spaces in front, so we can remove this one. And now we are like building all around the Brave Spectre here, and yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what we're needing, and yeah, I think that's pretty strong team, also like the enemy team. So let's see how this goes. Okay, that's close, but we win. I'm wondering if I can switch to a summoning build really quick, but that would probably be hard. And we see now that we are accruing permanent buffs due to this unit. And so we're getting now in a different phase of the game. Yes, all right, let's go. All right, so here we have it. That's a so we have a freeze bug that happens sometimes. Again, alpha. So I'm wondering how much time we have, because that's a
I'm not gonna lie, not much, but
Not much.
but
I mean, I
it
think
can-
then it's actually perfect.
no, it's true, but yeah, it's so interesting on that idea that any PFP uh, should be in battle all together. So I really want to see some clonics battling with some ape sometimes. So yeah, it's really interesting to have these kind of thing. I don't know if you want to show something else, but you call, you tell us.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I think the core loop is now sufficiently presented, and the fascination of the game comes then from balancing and trying to optimize these tactics as you are like working with being presented with a random shop and trying to make the most out of it. One thing I can maybe shout out that could be relevant for the audience is that we are inherently, as I mentioned, cross-community, and we want to be working together with other communities, right? So if any community, like a PFP community or a gaming community with their own NFT is interested, we can talk to each other to integrate this NFT and give it its own unique special ability, so it becomes meaningful. We think this can be interesting to give a little bit of utility. And then we are also preparing right now for the early release, a seasonal event where we will have a competition going on. So communities will be able to battle in this game. And the more games they win, the higher the community gets ranked. And then the highest ranked communities will then get payouts in a shared prize pool. And we think it's a cool way to raise the boats together and have fun together and bring gamers and Web3 community all around the table and do something that we all enjoy and love.
Yeah, actually, that was one of the questions I had in mind, which was you decide with the PFP project the kind of ability you want to have in games with this kind of PFP.
Exactly. So this is how we do this in the beginning. But what we want to do in the seasons is we want to have basically one or two mid-season points where the community themselves then can update the ability of their champions, of course, within parameters, right? So it's obviously not getting broken and imbalanced, right? But for example, this game is very positional, as you see, and for example, you can then choose, like the second unit in the team gets a +1/+1 bonus, and then maybe you play with your community, and then you discover, well, the meta is actually more around the backline, and you need to protect your backline against ranged attacks or something like this, right? So you might argue within your community, hey, let's switch our PFP ability to be more protective of the backline or more aggressive in the front line. So this game, while it's very simple, it actually has a lot of depth and invites you to do theory crafting and play hours and hours and talk with your friends to find out what is the best way to win and optimize here.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you very much for that. I don't know if you remember your own question for the audience.
I do. So the question is a very simple one. It is, how many wins do we need to win a complete match of Battle for the Metaverse? And the prize will be we call it the Super Early Access NFT. It's a very special NFT that you get when you win one of these things, or if you come and comment on our Twitter when we give giveaways. And we're not selling this one; it's just for the very early supporters. And yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, awesome. Well, replies are already coming to the comment section, so let's give them a couple more minutes before selecting who the winner is, just in case. So in the meantime, remember, anyone who's watching, if you have any questions, now's the time to do it. So feel free to share any questions you might have, either for Seth or for anyone else who has already presented that probably came to mind. So yeah, now's the time to have any questions and try to get them answered.
Yeah, and to add a few minutes, just to have time to answer the question, and if there are specific questions for the audience. Thank you very much, guys, for your presentations. We really, it's very different from our new members presentation that we did yesterday, which is great. Try to understand what's behind the project and each project with our members. But these kind of things really appreciate the way you are showing your games and your services and exactly how it works. So yeah, thank you very much for that. And I don't know if I was long enough to have a few more answers. What do you think, Luis?
Well, I don't know, Seb. Do you see the correct answer in the comments? Right?
I do. Roy Martinez with 12. That's the correct answer. Congratulations. So
and the first one.
Just yes, it's the first one. So yeah, thank you very much. And just make sure to send us your ETH address. It will be on Polygon, FYI, the NFT, and then yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, awesome. I'm sharing the link in the comment section. So you can claim your prize. So Roy, make sure to fill out this form and we'll get back to you to let you know how to claim it. Okay, let's see, Roy. Okay, done.
Awesome. Great. So yeah, thank you again, guys. It was very great to have you today. By the way, I love the guitar, Kwame, that you have behind. And yeah, wish you a very good Friday. Enjoy, and see you very soon. Bye bye, everyone.
Yeah, thanks to the team. See you guys.
See you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a great one. Thank you.